Hi, my name is Karen Skassel, CEO of Skassel Collections, and today we are here for the final judging of challenge number 3 for the Fiber Factor. And today we not only have Cerelia Rose, but we also have 3 very honorable judges.
Hi, I'm Laura Bryant. I own Prism Yarns. I started it almost 30 years ago. I'm also an author, just finished a book with XRX, Artful Color, Mindful Knits, all about hand-dyed yarn.
I'm Elaine Rowley, editor of XRX Books, and I get to work with wonderful people like Laura.
I'm Rick Mondokan, and I'm the editor of Knitters Magazine.
Hi, I'm Terri Rosenthal. This is my 3rd challenge piece for the blank slate using only one color and beautiful Kenzie yarn. I chose to do a piece called Town and Country. It's a classic cardigan that you could wear in town or country at any time of the day. Only using a few stitches and a beautiful yoke sleeve, all one piece, adding a collar and buttons that open up and snaps. Has side pockets and trim that you can personalize for yourself. You can leave it off or do what you want. Only a few different stitches, making it very simple for anyone to do. And it grades beautifully for any size. I hope you enjoy the pictures because the pictures really tell you about how the pieces works with everything. This is Town and Country. I'm Terri and I hope you enjoy it. Bye.
I just reviewed my notes, and I actually wrote, "You had me when I saw the back view." I liked the back view immediately. Then when I realized that the front was different and it had the lacing, I liked it even more. It's, you know, a great play on lace and making it a little less feminine, but it's not necessarily making it masculine. It's bringing it more
Tailored.
yeah.
Although I think the front looks more masculine than the back.
Yes,
because it has the lace, or you
Yeah.
know, it's woven through, so it makes it a solid. I actually think the front could be worn by a gentleman.
I think it
but
could
maybe
too.
not the back.
I like the sweater a lot. I love the finishing details. The snaps are going to stay in place better than a button might. There's pockets on the side, which is really cool, and it's lined with a thin jersey fabric. Instead of having a knit inlining, it's a lot thinner and it's not as weighty, so it's going to reduce bulk, which is one of those things that Terri always thinks of that's really nice. When I put it on, I got a really cool 70s bomber jacket vibe from it, which I thought was interesting, and because it does look at this on the surface, it's a bit maybe grandpa, but just that's in right now, so that's cool.
I thought that this was a very interesting piece. I adore the bottom band and the way that it segues into the vertical eyelet and garter bars. I really, really like that. And I'm not a particular fan of the lacing. I think that's personal preference. I don't think it's necessarily bad design choice. It just doesn't do it for me. But I really love the back. But then I have a very serious problem with where the eyelet portion joins the yoke. It's an extremely awkward transition, and I think she did as well as she could with trying to sew it and get it correct, but it's not quite cutting it. And I have to say that in the process video, when I saw that yoke kind of pinned on the mannequin, I was really excited about it because I like the fact that it has that little bit of angle, and I was really interested to see what wound up happening with it. I will also comment that I think that the collar is a little skimpy. It's not wide enough, and the shoulders, without any shoulder seam, it's already more stretched from the weight of the garment pulling down on it, and you can see a lot of the black mannequin through it, and that over time is going to be a really unstable situation.
Yeah, my biggest pet peeve on these photos is that she has the model right up to the background stealing the show. I mean, the stone wall, and here just the back of the house just really isn't as attractive.
The window doesn't help.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lauren Riker, and this is All in One. I named my design All-in-One not only because it's an owl onesie, but also because it's knit in one piece, leaving you with minimal finishing, which we all love. This design is going to be on every mother's wish list this fall and winter. It features buttons at the neck and at the legs, so it's super easy to get in and out of, and of course the buttons can easily be replaced with snaps. The Kenzie yarn that this design is made of has a tweedy look, so it's perfect for an owl and it's great for hiding stains. This yarn also gets softer and fuzzier as you wash it, which makes it absolutely perfect for babies. Babies love animals, and moms love for their babies to look cute, so it's definitely going to be a favorite outfit for both of them. It's a gender-neutral design and can be worn as a costume or for everyday wear, and would be fabulous in all the other Kenzie colors. Knitting this design is lots of fun and would be suitable for an advanced beginner. It features a fun textured pattern right here that's composed of knits and pearls, and it has this adorable face on the hood, and it has these fun little tail feathers on the back. It also has a matching friend. He's a little stuffed animal that has the same textured belly pattern and his little ruffled tail feathers. I hope you enjoyed this design. Thanks!
I think Lauren is a fully developed designer. She showed us a mood board, she did her swatching, she washed the swatch, which she really learned everything, and then she did her research too. She mentioned that she looked at her own independent line, and what had sold the best for her was an owl hat. And that just, I mean, she went and ran with it. And I've come down on her hard before because her color sensibility is so, for a person over 15 or something, it's hard to, take. And I think this kind of shows you how restraint can be really great. It can make you, she is appealing to a much wider audience now. She's not just appealing to the cutesy girly. That's so up my alley, so up the Pacific Northwest knitter, the rustic, but it's also, cute as a button.
She took her charm this time and her cuteness, and I think she really put it where it can be utilized at its best. And she created this children's outfit, which I think she did splendidly. I think the fit is phenomenal. I think the buttons and the crotch for the baby, I guess, do you call it a crotch on a baby?
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it. He's looking at
I call it the danger
parts
zone.
are that easy.
And the little butt.
Yeah, the little butt. I mean, the raglan sleeve, the way it fits the baby. It's just, it's baby perfection, if I can say that. Rick, what do you think?
I think it's adorable, and I do like the fact that it's definitely unisex. There's no doubt that a little boy could be seen in that and not have a problem. A dad wouldn't have a problem with his son in that.
What I really love about this is the attention to detail. It is the whole package. It's the real deal. Every part of it is well realized. The details are correct. They all work in concert, and so the sum total is more than all the parts put together, and that is often a difficult thing in knitwear.
I think it's the combination of classic and whimsical is perfect. I can see her doing a whole little series because she's used just a little bit of detail to define the owl. This is an owl combination. Well, the little belly could be something else next time, and it's important in something this cutesy to have excellent workmanship and just restrained taste, and I think she really pulled all that off.
Okay, so how about the photography, though? The photo that she chose as her favorite actually has the little stuffed owl in a tree, and you just get to see the tippy top of the little jumper. So, in my opinion, it does great for the little owl in the tree, but it does absolutely nothing for the
it's ghostly.
Yeah.
Well, it looks a bit like
It looks like a mean cat.
raccoon.
It does.
Yeah.
This picture should have been her, in my eyes. This should have been the big guy, the primary.
The purple bothers me a little bit, but yes, this photo where the baby is looking in the mirror and you can see the belly, you can see the back, you can see everything.
Two shots for the price of one.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Are your feet tired of landing on cold, hardwood, or tile floor? Ooh, cold. Not anymore. Hi, I'm Katie Rempe, designer of the Modest Rug, the treat that your feet will retreat to meet. Not only is this rug felted for maximum softness, but it also has a great textural stitch pattern that your feet will eat up. Any level of knitter will be happy to have this in their repertoire as it is simple and a quick knit. Use the Modest rug on anywhere where there's floor surface for your feet. Put it in front of your kitchen sink. Put it in front of your back door. Put it next to your bed. Let it live next to your shower stall or bathtub. Wherever you put it, your feet will thank you and your eyes will be treated with my signature geometric designs. Don't miss out on this beautiful design, which will surely make you the envy of all of your friends. This has been Katie with the Modest Rug, brought to you by Skacel. I bet you can't make just one.
I think Katie started with a good idea. I liked her inspiration. I liked her, thinking outside of the box. But then she knit a box. She knit a rectangle, which is, not the most challenging project. She, I think, tweaked a stitch pattern or came up with her own stitch pattern to emulate the clouds that she was inspired by. That's great. I like all of that. Holding the yarn quadruple and then felting it, I think a swatch would have revealed what happened in the final sample, which was that it ruffled and rippled. The garter stitch kind of felted at a different rate than the stitch pattern. It would be great if that was intentional, but I don't think it was. I think it was a surprise. And I thought of it as a flaw. It didn't really appeal to me. It looked messy. I also can't see spending that much on a bath mat.
The biggest problem with that ruffling, aside from it being unintentional, most likely, is that it's just dangerous. You can't put something on the floor that has ruffles like that because somebody is going to trip on it, plain and simple. And if it had been twice the size, it would have been a really nice little lap row because it is really cushy. It's very, it's very soft, and I could see throwing that on your lap and being perfectly happy with it on your lap. I just really worry about it underneath. Although I do think that she did a good job getting the clouds.
I want to put 2 slits in it and wear it as a vest, actually, as a cushy winter vest. That would be really fun.
Like a tabard.
That would be amazing.
I even put in my notes, I really like this.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one.
It's beautiful. No, it's beautiful.
I actually took off my shoes and walked all over it because I really liked the feel on the bottom of my feet. And I thought, God, I'd rather have this than the silly floor mat that I have. And maybe I paid $9.95 at IKEA. I don't know, but I'd rather have this under my feet for $100. And I wouldn't. I wouldn't make it reversible. I would put, something on the bottom so that it's non-slip. And yes, the ruffled edge bothers me. It's so funny. I look at it a totally different way than everybody else does.
See, and I think the photographs didn't do any justice.
No.
The first one, you have the ripple there front and center. The close-up was a beautiful picture. Beautiful picture of the stitches. Granted, lots of places you could use it, but they all feature the ruffle. It's just not, ruffles aren't practical, even if it was a design element.
No.
I like her prop styling. I like the bench and the hat and the cat. I thought brought some life and color into it.
Yes.
But yeah,
and that actually would have been the best.
Right, but I would have loved to see human feet, some kind of hand, or if just a little life would have been, would have been cute. And that's how you can make still life come to real life.
Hi, this is John with the second video for Challenge 3, Blank Slate. So here we are with the piece. The chevron motif that we talked about is used across the collar, down the button band and the buttonhole band. The twisted stitches and the flat panel technique really brings a lot of light bouncing off of the fiber. This is the piece worn backwards for a decidedly more urban and contemporary appeal. The collar will spread depending on how daring you want to take the back. But again, the texture and the fluting remain. And here we have a more rustic approach by turning the entire garment inside out. What was flat stitching before becomes more textured here. The textured lines of the front have been obliterated. It's a much more relaxed feel, but the collar and the button bands are all completely reversible, as is the seaming. When it's inside out, all of that flat, plain treatment is gone. In fact, the fabric doesn't behave that way anymore, that it takes to belting really quite well. Giving a little bit more femininity with that very rustic approach.
I like the silhouette. I think, again, his work is a little too fussy. Trying to do too many things with one project. And he has 3 different stitch patterns going on there. plus the ridge. It's just a little too much in my eyes.
But because it's done all in one color in oatmeal, it's not overly overbearing, I don't think.
No, I didn't say overbearing, but
no, but too much going on. Too
no,
much
it's one of my favorites.
I mean, he does. I think, John, I think you do fabulous work. The thing that bothered me the most was the front. The buttonholes are too much in the center so that the the knit band wants to flap over on it. And I would have loved to see some shaping. It's just a box to me. I like to have something that shows off your shape a little bit.
Except when it's a boxy sweater.
Except when it's a boxy
super
sweater.
boxy sweater.
Yes, but this one just...
You're right, it's right in between.
It's right in between. It's
or,
not big enough that it covers your bad parts, your wobbly parts. What about you, Elaine?
Well, I was very fond of this, but as I see it in real life, I'm not fond of the front edge. I guess the delicacy of that. I really liked the wider band that's around the shoulder. I think it actually does fit that kind of an extended shoulder armhole pretty well. It doesn't gap, I think. The collar and the front border were probably my issues, but I thought it was pretty elegant.
As Elaine has a problem with the front edge and the collar, so do I. When you look at the shots with it on backwards, that collar is absolutely front and center and really quite an amazing story. But when you look at it in the front, the amount of that stitch pattern that's on the front band is so small that it's hard to read what it is.
I'm finding it hard to connect with the sweater on the mannequin and as a piece, but when I got the photos, and now that I'm looking at them even more, I really do love it. And because it's multiple personality, but it also, first of all, John did all the styling, all the prop styling, everything, and the hair and makeup himself, dressed the model. I get John from this. I get his historical archaeologist sensibility. I also feel like she's a little bit Indiana Jones in some of these photos. I think it's incredible in its versatility. Actually, he does show her with a skirt. Yeah, it's a khaki skirt, but it's stunning. And I do think the collar in the front that's the story right there. Again, with editing, you need to learn when to stop and when to stop piling garnishes on, because it was done there, and that's all it has to be. It doesn't always have to be, and then it can do this, and then it can do this, and then I mean, I love that he works so many techniques in. I think he's a very technique focused designer, and that's to be commended. But yeah,
had the piece been presented backwards with quieter buttons and nothing else, we all would have went
absolutely.
Hi folks, Tracy Purtscher here. This is my daughter Jillian, my beautiful model, and she's wearing bravura. Bravura, a word that means florid brilliance, a word that means style, brilliant grace. And that's the type of woman who would wear this. Someone who's self-assured and confident. Can be dressed up or dressed down. It's got a nice full hood that drapes and lays nicely across the back, the detail. I got my inspiration for the original shape, Jillian, put your elbows out, from a stole, a mink stole, the classic mink. And since capes are popular on the runway this year, here we go. The stitching is basically stockinette to highlight this beautiful yarn with a herringbone adaptation that I made and some garter stitch, just to show the depth of this yarn. I hope you enjoy it.
And this is my favorite piece. This is funky and intriguing, and if I ever could knit something that wasn't my own yarn, I would knit this. And when I was 20 or 30 or 40, I would have knit this. I just really like it. I say brava.
This is the first person that I have ever given a 10 to in creativity. Only because I thought, I guess you would call it the infrastructure on the inside. The way she built the piece is so amazing. I love the back view, except for the hood needs to be smaller. But I love the 2 layers. I would wear this. I really would wear
I
this.
think she wanted to push the drama too, though. I mean, in the photos, you do see a lot of play with the, and it's one of those, like, if you had a mink and you had a hood, that's how you would wear it, just at that proportion. But it's just, it needs to be pulled back. I also had a problem with it. It ruffles a bit, so the turned hem needs to be knit on a smaller needle, or something needs to give there.
Again, it does exploit the yarn. You're right, in the double layers and the hunky chunky double border in front, which is balanced by the bottom border, which isn't doubled really nicely. It is probably the most creative thing.
I too would minimize the hood. I just think it's a little too deep as it's off the head. As it hangs there, it's too deep for the piece. I love the idea that it's got these 3 layers as you're walking away. Her first photo was perfect for that. The turned border around the hood and around the front is a little heavy and a little clunky. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a crisscross stitch. It's got some funky stitching that's really cool, but there's a lot of bulk there. I like the idea that it's double-stranded. It's definitely a chill chaser. So I think it's a really cool piece. And I do like the retro idea that she took it from an existing piece, because it's nice to see reinterpretations of something in a totally different medium.
And Tracy, I think we would all agree that she is the only person who really hit the right photo on the spot, right? So she really did a great job on choosing the right photo there. Tracy chose to do everything in black and white, which I think is
extremely deliberate and extremely effective.
Yes, with this piece especially, because it's such a dramatic piece, and then black and white is dramatic.
Just that it was hard to choose. I mean, every single photo has something going for it, but it still doesn't feel, it feels like one story, it feels like the same person. You still get Tracy out of there, even though it's, her daughter and not the city she lives in, but it still feels like her, which is impressive.
Yeah, I thought the photography was phenomenal. I think it's a great combination of the romance, what you would see in a fashion magazine, plus enough information about the knitting to intrigue the knitter and say, hey, wait a minute, what's really going on there? I might want to knit that.
Right.
And with what we all said about the hood, if you look at pictures 4, 5, and 9 and 11, she's wearing the hood, and it doesn't look overwhelming. No. It's just down, when it's down, it looks overwhelming.
I'm really excited to talk about my new designs that I created, the Pine Forest hat and mitt set. Very inspired by camping and being outside and nature, that I think would be a great intro to color work. It's really a basic pattern that you can easily memorize and don't have to keep checking the pattern. I also think it would be great customized if you wanted to switch up the 2x2 rib with a garter stitch. I think it's really easily to kind of change it up to whatever suits you. I also think it would be really great for either men or women. I mean, maybe the pom-pom's a little more feminine, but definitely could get some boyfriend, husband interest in those. The other pattern I designed is the Tavi hat. It's a basic cable hat, adding a little pop of color and a big pom-pom for added interest that I'm really excited about. I would love to also, in the future, make a matching pair of mitts to go with this pattern. Thanks.
They're nice little hats and mittens, but I didn't feel that they approached much in the creativity factor, and I was a little hesitant that they would be sellable. I was looking for sellable to be what you defined as sort of the new hot thing, and these might be very saleable in good little projects that lots of people will make, but I don't think they're the new hot thing.
Yeah, they're not new either.
No.
And there was a comment about wanting to have coordinating mittens with the cabled hat. And if you have a set and then a half a set, it just doesn't look good. And I can relate to this being a former student. She's a student, she's got a lot going on, but that just really screams, I ran out of time, or I didn't give myself enough time. It's happened. I mean, it's a bit disappointing to see. And I'm also very happy that she dyed something. I do like the color blocking. I think it's quirky and Scandinavian sort of. I wouldn't have put it with the cabling. I think it, at the color change, you get a bit of disruption there, which would have looked a lot cooler in stockinette or garter or something cleaner. I love how the color came out. I love that she knows about fiber, which is great. great. But yeah, these are disappointing to me.
It just isn't a wow factor about
No.
them. It's just, there's just no wow.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Right.
Well, except that I don't care for the
Well-
red top, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because again, that's personal preference.
Right.
There's just no wow.
And you do think that maybe just compared to the amount of work that went into other pieces and the amount of yarn that she evidently had left over, that maybe there was something she could have done that would have made these, given these a context, that would have made sense.
As far as research, market research, hats and accessories do sell really well. So knitting a hat, but I don't know how strong mittens are. I don't think they're necessarily a hot to knit item. She did talk about a class, this is a great intro to stranded colorwork project. She did mention gender neutrality, which is something that's a really good thought. And I think she photographed them in an appropriate way. No.
Well, I thought the photograph looked totally miserable.
Tough. Yeah, I would have chosen the happier
And you don't
one.
see what's going on with the mittens. So
there were good options, but yeah.
I thought she had some decent options that she chose.
Right.
I
for the first
figured
look,
we were to judge
but
on the first.
It looks too tropical.
Yeah.
It doesn't go with the camping vibe, but the idea was there, and yeah.
But this pattern has been done in every single yarn that is out there.
True.
Yes.
You know,
and you wanted
this-
something
This is not going to sell the Kenzie.
Her simplicity is her strong suit, I think, but I like that she tends to push it more towards a modern. Like, this is what you're seeing in store. I mean, this is what every Christmas you'll see this in stores. It's classic. It's J. Crew.
But-
It's but it's not exciting.
But that's exactly why you don't want to knit it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, this is Crossbone Style. It's my new cowl or infinity scarf or neck loop or whatever you want to call it. It's knit out of this lovely Kenzie merino blend yarn, and it is just a pleasure to knit this thing. I have already made 2, I'm working on my 3rd one. I can't get enough of it. It's all knits and purls, so it's totally appropriate for beginners to knit. It's also great for advanced knitters. It's both meditative and engaging, so it's kind of relaxing, but you do have to pay attention, and the way that the different sized checkers made out of knits and purls change, you'll see when you do it. It's really, really fun to knit. It's also a super versatile, kind of a best friend piece. You can wear it with almost any outfit, and it's going to look great and make your outfit look great pretty much from the fall to the spring. And yeah, I love this thing. So Crossbone Style. Thanks for watching.
I really like that this project is meant to be a meditation and also slightly easy to follow. So it's a bit of challenge, but it's also, you're just making these long loopy rounds. I love that the stitch pattern goes from seed stitch to big checkerboard and all the sizes in between. It's sort of like a play on dimension, and this looks modern, and it's because it's all square and it's all graphic.
Right.
Also, it's very hard to get cowl proportions just right. I see a lot of neck braces, I see a lot of droopy things that drag in, but this is just right, and that's really hard to do well, so kudos there.
Edges look good. I mean, technique is good.
There's nothing wrong with the piece. I just feel it's too simple for what they were presented with. Not even for a contest, just for what they were presented with. They were asked to do something, and I think it was almost a cop-out. And that may not be the right phrase, but...
Well, or an easy way out.
An
It was kind of an easy way out. Even though I think he put a great deal of thought into...
Oh, he did beautiful swatching.
Yeah, and I loved the drawing, the sketches of the Danish modern, and all that. I loved all that.
Yeah.
But
it didn't come to the table.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess that was it, because I was following them.
Yeah.
And I was going, he's on to something. He's got something really cool going on. I like his graph paper. I like what he's doing. He's really, I mean, he's really taken that mid-century and is doing something with it. And then it was like, what?
Yeah.
This one is more interesting now that I do know the construction, and I actually am going to try it. And I do think the meditative aspect, I think, of knitting is usually repetitive, but here's, each little bead you're pulling or something is a different nugget. So you convinced me to go home and try it. So he's just got to tell the world this is, there's interest in this. The process would be very interesting.
And it will sell, and people will
and
make
it does look beautiful.
But the main photo on this one, I get that it's urban, there's chain link fence, it's rusty, but come on, when you have those dimples and those curls and that really awesome plaid colorful shirt, you need to use that. I mean, that's just a great photo. And also the other styled photos, the knotted ones, the subway photo. There was so much cool stuff going on in the other photos that I don't understand at all why that was the main photo. The hanging on a hanger with blah colors just didn't make sense to me.
I think that the choice of that as the main photo goes back to that romance versus information, and he opted for the one that gave the most information. But a lot of the other ones have a lot more romance and still have enough information. I mean, they don't show the entire thing, but they show enough that you're intrigued by it.
Hi, I'm Natalie Larson, and this is Challenge 3 Blank Slate, and this is my sweater, Something. I was inspired for this challenge by music, how it moves and flows without being visual, and I wanted to create that aspect in my garment, something that has movement but isn't done in the obvious flowy way. So I created cables on the bias that really frame the face like a statement necklace would. It is in the back as well as in the front, and it's perfect for an advanced beginner project. It's all top down, completely seamless. There's a few stitches to pick up under the arms, but really super easy. The bias cables are created with a series of increases and decreases, but it's no different than shaping a waist. That is easy to throw on, that can be casual, that can be dressy, that really is a statement piece, but subtle at the same time. 3/4 length sleeves, so it's a perfect layering piece. It can go from fall to winter to even spring, depending on where you live. I hope you enjoy my sweater Something. Bye.
I wanted to like this more, and there was, when she started talking about the music flow and sort of the non-tangible qualities, I was really intrigued. I thought that was a wonderful hook. I like the way the cables move a lot, and I so wanted to like this piece, but I have to say that the fit of it just destroys what the good things, the many good things that are going on, and mostly it's the wide neck, which is just not very feasibly wearable, and it doesn't look good in her photos. It doesn't look good in the styling. And then, in addition, I think it's skimpy, and I understand it's not my size. I mean, it's made for a smaller woman than me. But even on Natalie, it looked skimpy in the front. I think it needed to have a little more, you know, the buttons are gapping, pulling, and it's the gap in the front. If it falls away, it's a little too much.
Yeah.
But I love the moving cable.
The things I particularly love, I love the elongated cable in that shape. I think it's really elegant, and I actually like those little dashes of lace eyelets, which are really nice, so she needs to revisit this.
It looks very organic.
And introduce a little goatee in it.
In the piece, she put the shaping in, she put in a fake side seam.
Which
Had that piece,
before, and she
had that
real.
piece been done in pieces, she could have added a goatee or even vents.
Left it open.
Yeah.
That would have made
Yeah.
this piece.
Sure.
It takes half the release away from the middle, which is
That would have been great.
Which,
belly.
She's a beautiful girl, so she's so exotic, the perfect model for her piece. The back is stunning.
The back would be an amazing pullover. That's like an elfin, I mean, that's
It would really
pretty.
be
it's
perfect.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see the shaping a lot more when you're looking at the back.
The photography ruined it.
Yeah,
I
it also
agree.
did nothing good
And
for it.
as I look at the piece now, just from across the room, the buttonholes are way too close to the bind off to the edge, whatever the case may be.
I always think of Maggie Righetti's book and her chapter, Buttonholes Are Bastards, because they really are. I mean, you have to really do it well. And I tend to resort to snaps, hooks, things that are stronger that I can put fabric backing on because I hate this sloppy look. And you know, I think for the styling on this one, Natalie is such a perfectionist. I love her attention to detail, and there was a wrinkled background fabric draping. It was the same color. You just don't do, I mean, it's very rare that can work.
I'm Talitha Kuomi, and this is Cardine. It's cardine in Italian, means foundation. This is a foundational color, it changes personality with what you wear it with, like a chameleon. So it's got a great range of flexibility. I wanted the edge, the angles, and the straight lines combined with the softness of the yarn. So here's the asymmetrical back when it's pinned here at your front hip with a pin. The memory of the yarn gives you a nice hold, but you have full control over exactly where this is pinned. It's very adjustable. And then if you don't want quite that much edge to your look, let's pin it in the front. Makes it very flowy. A little more sophisticated, I think, a little less edgy. Again, you have lots of flexibility in the middle because of the nylon and the stretch of the yarn, which is my favorite feature. And maybe it's a little more casual day, so let's go jeans and a tank top. We're just going to tie it in the front and let it do what it organically does. Then it's a nice, comfortable, casual sweater. I love the flexibility. I love that the color becomes whatever you put it with. I really enjoyed working with the Kenzie. This is Cardine.
I love just the simple lines within the garter lines within the stocking. I mean, it's very architectural, and looking at it just here in front of us, the shape is beautiful. It's just the tails that I find offensive, and just in the matter of practicality, not that they're ugly.
You know,
I'll start
No, we
with
really
something
are.
good about it, and that is the way she had them pick up, or the knit up stitches from the main band that she created with the 6 stitches in between, and then the 2 and the 6 and the 2. Because of that, you got to admit the pickup line is very smooth. It doesn't pucker. It's not too wide. It's very even, and I thought that idea was brilliant. And it makes it really easy for a novice knitter to do something like that. This one, for some reason, the front, I don't think the fit is very good. It's not supposed to be asymmetrical, I don't think, but when you look at it, it is, and when we tried it on, it is. The one side, the left side is a little bit smaller than the right side. Even in her photos, it's very asymmetrical.
And that doesn't bother me. I think
I'm just wondering if it was
sort of like that.
meant to be that way.
I think it's a gauge.
I think it's difficult to be asymmetrical when you have a V-neck like that.
Because it's definitely more
anybody with a little bit of breast is not going to wear that.
I'm shaped like olive oil, and I actually would wear this, and I'm also taller, so I feel like I would wear this, and it's dramatic without being too over the top because everything is so clean. I think Talitha actually does understand editing, and that you don't need to cram in every detail.
I agree. And I would not wear this. Okay, it's too much fabric in front of me, and it's a little too big to tie, and I would never wear it wrapped around. That's just kind of impractical. I thought it was kind of, I liked that look in the video and in the photograph, but I don't think it's practical, and I don't think that most women would wear it that way.
The angle of the photography, shooting down on her,
shrinks her.
Was not good. It shrank her. We've got 1, 2, 3. I think the front photos are also shot downward. And it's not a fortunate way to photograph a garment or a model. I mean, she looks great in it. I will say she looks good in it. She looks comfortable. Not all the models look comfortable in their photos, but she looks comfortable, like confident. And that I give her kudos for. She even is enjoying herself in a couple of those photos. She's laughing and kind of playing around. That I give her credit for.
I love the grass photos.
I like the
grass photos.
Really beautiful.
They look like hay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with little, I think
little rump in the hay.
They definitely sell the romance of the garment.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it looks like I want to do that. I just want to lay down on the ground.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rachel Henry, and this is Winter Beach. This is my cardigan that I made for the Blank Slate Challenge. Winter Beach is named for my favorite time of year to go to the seashore. In the off-season, I can have the place more or less to myself, and the dogs can have a good long run. This is a pretty, drapey, easy-to-make, fun-to-wear cardigan that every knitter will want to have in their closet. Anna, can you spin around for me? You can see how it flows out. It's got a cowl neck. If you get really, really cold, you can loop it up around your neck, like so. You can also make the cowl as a separate piece so that if you just want to try out the yarn a little bit and see how you like it, that works too.
She mentioned in her video that this is a shape that can be worn by just about anybody, and people say that all the time. But I really do believe that this shape could be worn by a lot of people. My only thing with this one is that the shoulders are just too broad. I think the sleeves need to be set in further. I think even on her model, the shoulders are too wide. But I love just the tiny little lace panel that she has on the side that comes to a point. It's very simple, yet it's elegant, and having the cowl, it just adds the little extra bit for me. I really like this piece.
I like it too, and I think that any yarn company would love this. I think that the thinking through of, well, you know, they can make the cowl, see how they like the yarn, and then come back and make the sweater, and that's really good thinking. That's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it's really very nice. Yes. And it's true. It's not a huge investment to make the cowl. I don't know that I would have attached the cowl. I'm not sure that that really accomplishes anything. I agree with Karen about the shoulders. Set-in sleeves need to sit on the top of your arm. They need to sit up here, not the least little bit down here, up here. But the lace detailing on the hem and the side is really a nice touch, and takes a shape that we've been seeing for a while, and it is very popular right now, and takes it just one step further and out of the ordinary. And I think this is probably a very saleable pattern.
I think Rachel mentioned knowing her knitter, and her customer is a knitter that wants to show off and show her skill, and that's really cool that she understands who she's designing for and who's going to make her pattern, and I think this is great. I almost wonder if her gauge got looser as she knit the whole piece, because it's a lot of knitting, and I wonder if that could have helped the neatness. I do think inches have to come out up there too, but I actually really liked the photos in this one. I don't think they're high fashion at all, but I think they're really cute and approachable. I love that she's kind of, in the reading photo, she looks like she's really concentrating on her book, and I love the walking on the dock. She just looks comfortable and happy and very cute.
But I think that we generally agreed that the main photo that she picked does not do it justice.
No, you can't see it.
It's selling the romance, but it just looks like a cardigan.
Yeah.
The secondary photo where you can see the details of the lace are a lot better.
Yeah.
And there's one back photo.
That's better.
This one, where you can see the cowl, you can see the shape, you can see the lace.
But her expression is a bit toddler
forced.
tiara. It's a pageant photo. It's like,
it is a little.
So that, I think, this one is lovely. It's, it's hard to hit all those marks.
That's where, when I mentioned earlier about the photography, it's really hard to do photography. It's really hard to be the model or have a model and be able to get plenty of shots to avoid some of that.
I wonder if these folks know, that you usually take hundreds
to
nail it.
Yeah.
My name is Jodie Gordon-Lucas, and this is Queenie's Can-Do Cardi. Extremely popular patterns are often accessible. You look at them and think, well, I could totally do that. And I like that, but I didn't want to just have something be easy. So I took my love of both knitting and teaching and tried to create a cardigan whose entire structure was dedicated to teaching new knitters new skills. I also wanted this cardigan to be universally flattering and to have a nice, crisp, clean line. Queenie's Can-Do Cardi, as a result, it offers a little something for everyone. For new knitters, it has a basic construction, and there are step-by-step tutorial videos that are going to hold your hand the entire way. Advanced knitters are going to appreciate the surprise of these removable pattern bands. And I've provided 6 different pattern bands for you to choose from, representing a variety of skills and difficulty levels. So with very little effort, you can create a brand new cardigan. So this is Queenie's Can-Do Cardi. It looks really great, and you really can do it.
I think it was a really ambitious effort. I liked the idea. I really liked the idea. But the execution failed in my eyes. I love the idea of the bands. I don't know why anybody would do more than one band. I like that she crocheted on, which she didn't tell us in the deal. That's something we're telling you because we've looked at it up close. But the way the bands marry in the back to buttons is clunky and awkward. If you're going to do a detachable band, go ahead and make it a single band and go all the way around the neck and make it beautiful. Then you're making if you're going to make all 6 variations, 5 variations, however many variations you're
five or
making.
six, yeah.
You then have all these
Six
little
total.
scarves
Yeah.
as well.
Good
So
point.
they're usable also as little accessories if you want. I just think that that was kind of weak.
It's another one that's very skimpy in the front. It's
Narrow.
just,
Yeah.
just way too skimpy in the front.
Yeah.
And it looks really that way in the photos as well. And now we played around with it, and we layered some of those bands underneath, and we got one band thicker. It looked really good.
Yeah.
And an interest, I mean, you know, Queenie, you were onto something here. You did a really nice job with the different pattern stitches. They're really lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those are so intriguing. And you could have done a whole sampler thing with different layers of those front bands with the different pattern stitches, and it really could have been wow.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's the problem that it's garter and it's strong and chunky-ish, and then the bottom edging on this, is it ruffle? It's like a crocheted.
It's a crochet border, and it's
wimpy little ruffle.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
doesn't work here at all.
Yeah.
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 And
So-
so you're right. It doesn't.
Either you
could
marry
contrast,
them,
yeah,
or they have a real reason for
a
being
relationship.
different.
Yeah. I always like when they say eyebrows are sisters, not twins. They shouldn't be totally symmetrical.
There you go.
And here, it's like they're not even in the same family. No.
Yeah, small refinements in this would make it fabulous.
Yes.
It's just that the time would have been better spent refining one great band.
Right. And the fit.
Yes.
Than making all the different
Than
bands.
making all those.
Right.
And again,
But you don't have to ditch the concept.
Right.
You can
Right.
present
Yeah.
alternate
Options.
borders. You know,
Right, that's right.
Choose yours, make it your own.
Yeah.
But realistically, we're not going to be changing them out. I mean, that's not going to happen.
It's just not.
On the photos, I think we already pointed out that
Oh, dear.
it
Really,
just does
two
nothing.
bad choices.
No.
Yeah.
Post looks
Yeah.
like, oh well, you know, it's
They
got
say a lot.
They
Yeah.
do.
They
yeah.
reveal a lot.
Yeah. And,
Oh,
and
the back neck.
well, it shows
Yeah.
the back neck, which is not a strong point on
No.
this whatsoever. It also shows how narrow it is, which is not a strong point.
I'm Jennette Cross, and this is Pearsall. Pearsall is designed to appeal to both product knitters and process knitters. For the product knitters, I went with an open front cardigan, fairly short and with elbow sleeves to make it versatile for a long part of the year. The slight shaping in back will flatter many sizes, and the juxtaposition of the texture and lace makes this a feminine sweater that is nonetheless very wearable and down to earth. For the process knitters, I wrote this pattern top down all in one piece. The pattern is written to be accessible to adventurous beginners, but has enough detail to amuse more experienced knitters as well. The I-cord bind-offs border the textured sections and offer increased stability to the one-piece construction. This easy technique is fully explained in the pattern and is a great item to add to your knitting skill set. An awareness of function and beauty is very important to my work. Knitting in 2013 is a romantic pastime no matter how you frame it, and I want my patterns to reflect the aspects of my personality that are both deeply romantic and highly practical. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
And that's my favorite. I love this sweater.
Let's let Elaine start. Yeah,
but
let's do that.
Maybe we've been sitting here, and when you speak about the yarn, the stitch she chose to border the piece with is just stellar because it really highlights the sheen of the yarn. And that and the little I think that's really quite elegant. I think there are fit issues, there's collar shape issues, there's why did I or did I not put lace in the back that other people will address. But just as a textile and as a sort of clean, oriental, kind of sophisticated shape, it really keeps drawing my eye.
This is another one I wanted to like more than I wound up liking it. And a lot of my problems with it are fit issues. I like her inspiration. I read those books too, not all of them. But some of them. I like that inspiration, and I
Good
liked
audiobooks.
I liked the way she thought it through. I liked that she did kind of bring that retro historical look around and tied it into current trends, and I think that she did a good job with that. The two things that bother me the most about it are the front edge rolling. That bothers me a lot. And then those little collar points up at the top hit in a really funny place. Conceptually, really interesting conceptually. execution, not quite there.
See, now I like the raglan sleeve on this one. And I think it was nicely done and executed, and
I have no shoulders, that's why, probably.
I just really do like it, and I like the way it shapes. I think on the collar, where, you know, she takes it up to the V neck, if she would have taken it up a little bit more so there wouldn't be that point, so it just would have gone straight up and it wouldn't have stood up, I think that would have taken care of that little problem up there.
Or had it stood up
even more.
Another 2
even
inches.
More. Yeah, it either has to be higher or lower, one of the two.
It really does have an Asian feel in front of us.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost feels Asian warrior feel. I mean,
Samurai.
it has that samurai feel.
Yeah.
And I like the way everything wedges up there. I love the raglan personally. I really do like that.
Yeah.
I like the little band around the bicep there, you know, and the lace in the back. I just thought was unnecessary.
I didn't.
Unnecessary.
I like the lace in the back.
And again,
one little styling note, I would say the skirt, because
the
it has
skirt
such a
doesn't
prominent,
work.
hike it up and hide that little band, or make it lower on the hips.
It just skirt with a yoke, I don't think.
Yeah,
no, I think it needs to
wrong.
be hidden.
Yeah.
There's a photo where it is, and it looks much better. It puts the emphasis on. It makes her look
here
long
it
torsos.
looks
a little bit better.
A lot better.
Yeah. Well, that's because you can't see the yoke part.
That's the trick, is that you have to be, at a photo shoot, your mind has to be thinking
Yes.
of
All
all
those
these
things.
all at the same time.
Okay, we've narrowed it down to 2 top pieces. One is Tracy's, which is her cape, Cardi cape, or what does she actually call it?
Bravura.
Ah, there we go.
Bravada,
And the other one is
Bravura.
Lauren Riker's little owl ensemble for a baby or infant. And gosh, they're both fabulous. Well, that
And
one
that's-
you could just put on the market, boom, the way it is.
I
You
think
got a
the
point.
creativity
And the infrastructure.
especially the ingeniousness, because this is also creative.
Yeah.
But that's reinventing the wheel. This is
It's
doing
reinventing
something
her
she
wheel.
already knows
Yeah.
what to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I think she really pushed the parameters on this. And what draws me, I think, so much to it is that I'm a pretty creative person and pretty innovative. I would never have thought to do that.
It's a bit of jealousy.
I've
When
never
oh, damn.
done little owls,
Yeah.
but if I put my mind to doing a onesie, I could have done this.
Right.
That is just like on this whole other plane of concept. That's why, but I would be happy with this winning. I mean, I really am torn.
Well, I did give her a 10 for creativity. So.
Look at her shaped
Yeah.
edge here.
Well,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, they are. I looked at my numbers, just looking at the numbers, and this one won by the numbers. That one, and the difference was the photography.
Photography.
Yeah, for
Her
the
photography was phenomenal.
I gave it a
marketing
10
was
for
good.
And that was part of the challenge. That was half the challenge, and I think she hit it out of the park on both counts. You're right, the workmanship, you know, and maybe just the design tweaking, not necessarily, because it's beautifully knit and it's beautifully finished, but there's a couple of stuff, you know, a couple of things that could be improved.
This one will get more talk.
This is the wow.
That is the wow.
That's not the wow.
That's true. I mean, this is
It's
the
really
awe.
sweet.
This is
Yeah.
the
I have a-
awe,
Yeah.
but it's not
Yeah.
the wow.
I
That
have-
is a wow.
I have a lot of difficulty with cute. I have a lot of difficulty with cute, and I would say cute is good for anyone under 3 years old.
The reason this
Exactly.
wins is
She's scored.
neutral, you know, is
Yeah.
the color.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
saves it.
Had this been
Oh,
done in
yeah.
color, it
Had
would've
she
been-
been able
I
to
would've
make
been,
it purple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could have dyed it. She
Well,
didn't.
yeah.
But you
Thank
know.
goodness she made a good choice.
I still think,
in not doing
and
that.
not to detract from how adorable it is.
Yeah.
Not only is she borrowing, like you say, from your own vocabulary and reinventing, mining your own archives. That's great. But I've seen animal rompers before. It's
Yeah,
been
I've seen
done.
the owl before.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think that for me, creativity is lacking
Yeah.
there.
You know,
it's
when-
really awesome, but
There's a lot of stuff on there. I mean, there's just a lot of layers, and you
But it
think of a
doesn't
whole
hold.
lot of the country that, I don't know.
But
That
in
was
terms
her
of
role.
capturing people's imagination,
Yeah.
and walking down a runway,
well,
being in an ad.
and
Encouraging.
by the
is
way,
thing.
the concept of that could evolve into a whole lot of other things.
Lighter
Sure.
Yeah.
weight.
Lighter weight,
Yeah.
no hood.
No hood. I think
Yes.
no hood would be a really good option for her to develop.
And she did nail the photography out of all of them. We agreed
Yes.
she was the only one who actually nailed it.
Mhm.
Lawrence has a strong sellability factor. It would sell more. This one has more creative factor,
Right.
and the photography
Big
and the
impact.
marketing, the photo that she shot, that's the one that people would want to gravitate towards. You would say, hey, I want to wear that. Congratulations, Tracy. You are the winner of challenge number 3. And congratulations as well to Lauren. It was a very, very hard decision between the two.